And so the question is, differently how? What do you mean? It means that I want to have my own schools, and they're gonna go, okay, all right, the charter for your own school, okay, and we already have that, so big deal. Yeah, we're gonna have our own schools. Not, we're gonna create different kinds of schools where we're gonna teach different kinds of things, and still they're gonna say, well, I'm not impressed. You can homeschool your kids, tell them whatever you want. They still have to pass the exams anyway if they want to get part of this community. But okay, do that. And then, but the truth is that we, and this is where we're always going, want to create, we're going to, because in the end, it becomes an economic issue. We want to create an alternative circuit. An alternative circuit means that we want to detach two tubes. One is credit. We're going to mint our own money because obviously, and two, we're going to try to pay as little tax money as possible, or ideally none whatsoever. And at this point, they start to lose patience. So they're going to start saying, okay, you're just completely, this is delusional talk. This is gibberish. And you're starting to sound like a militiaman, a crazy Idaho guy. And so stop right there. But this is what I tell the Steiner people. You're all there, gazing at your navels and talking about how beautiful these new system of, threefold models away from the state with perishable currency. The moment you start talking this kind of talk, and I always tell them, and Mike and Michael, you've heard this before from me, and I always tell them, the moment you start talking seriously about this and you're implementing, be prepared. Be prepared that they're going to send the police and a legal team, with one of whose first accusation is that you are forging the currency, for one.
Right.
And it's an offense. It's a capital offense. Like, well, I've also killed 13 people, and they're gonna say, I don't care about that. But the currency thing, is a lot worse. All of this goes. It's like there's lots of cute things about the organic food but underlying it all is radically the most revolutionary and the most dangerous thing there is for the system. This is why the system has flooded discourse and universities and our minds and the cultural life of the West for 200 years with all sorts of bogus so-called thought. What for me is the entirety, the whole, I look at my books around here, I would burn them all. The whole corpus of philosophy, think about it. I mean, just graduated from high school and she was lecturing me about Nietzsche and Kierkegaard and I didn't know what to say. And in a sense, I felt, I just felt silent. Actually, I started reading at night to keep abreast of them because they were more conversant with Nietzsche than I was. And so I said, God damn it, I got to read, beyond good and evil so I could dialogue with them. But aside from that, and they have flooded their minds with all sorts of literature that serves nothing, but going back to economics, to all sorts of things that prevent them from thinking in pure radical terms. And Marx is obviously, the first suspects of, everybody talks, it's like they say, oh, you're not happy with this state of things? No problem. Here, take Marx. So you can choose. We've given you a track. You can play. You can do your cosplay, Marx and cosplay, and good, and that's exactly and good. Do that, and you are completely emasculated. You are no longer a threat because you're talking shit in a way that is just unbelievable. And with all the thing that sometimes I cannot find sleep at night is to think of all the trees that have been cut down to write Marxist exegesis. I swear to God, where they think they can interpret everything and there's nothing there. But the stuff we're suggesting is obviously, I mean, we have it has yet to be articulated properly, but it is extremely dangerous. I mean, this is what I'm sure you realize this. The more you think about it, the more you realize, oh my God, this is prison material, right? So for me,
that's why I think
politically, this is what should obsess us the most.
Yeah, great. What you were just describing, Guido, is kind of precisely what's been going on with the Amish communities here, because they don't have their own currency, but they have an alternative economy as much as possible, right? Yeah. And that's a threat, and so that's why these Amish communities here have been growing and attracting people like us as their customers, and you know, as their part of their extended community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think that caused the state to crack down. Of course, the state, when they crack down, their excuse is always the same thing was for COVID. It's about our health. We have to keep you safe, right? Home inspection, and then curriculum inspection, right? And people were saying, we don't want you in our business. That's why we're homeschooling, right? And that is a threat. All those kinds of things. Raw milk, CSA, the Amish, homeschooling, those are all threats to that kind of techno structure that they're trying to foist upon us, right? Because it resists it, and in fact it exists outside of the techno structure. But it's very small, and has no power in a real sense. But there is a kind of power.
I like this Amish thing, and Mike, you mentioned it several times. You said you know them, and I hope you can. Come up with an idea of how to bring them in. You know.
And what do you mean by bring them in that case, Guido?
Bring in the Amish into whatever we're pursuing.
Yeah.
Because they already have not experimented. They already have a model, so I would think they'd be allies in this, and people actually can teach us how to move forward because they've tested a few things.
Yeah. Long term.
Very interesting. Yeah. Well, I think this is a pretty good place to kind of wind it down.